Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Ox Talks. It is Sunday, November the 12th, 2023. As always, I appreciate all of you watching the channel. It's a fairly new channel, trying to get some traction here, trying to help get the word out about what is unfolding with our economy and the social situation in our country. And I really appreciate you all not only subscribing, liking the videos, but most importantly, please share these videos with your family and your friends and your colleagues at work that are possibly pushing back against what you're trying to do to get the word out and open people's eyes. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what several of us on social media are trying to do as well, and simply just report what's going on. It's not a matter of doom and gloom or spinning the facts. We're just giving you guys some of the news stories, and to today's point, a lot of this stuff is spun because the powers that be obviously want to control the narrative. And they don't want, in many respects, the true news or the real news to get out there and influence public opinion. Topic today, and I don't go into this a lot on the channel, but it's the crime rates. And again, it's not doom and gloom. It's meant to just hopefully open your eyes and give you a different perspective on some of this stuff, which when it comes to crime and by extension to security for you and your family, there is nothing, I don't think more important. You're seeing that's my beagle Milo in the background, so let him wander around. Hopefully he does not start to bark during these videos. I don't do any editing, so whatever happens, it's going up in this fashion. Anyway, this is a story I saw just 2 days ago from the Zero Hedge. It's entitled, "This Crime Data is Not Real." And it says, headlines in recent weeks blared that crime is down, all based on new report from the FBI. And it says, the FBI report says the FBI's crime statistics estimates for 2022 show that national crime decreased an estimated 1.7% in 2022 compared to 2021 estimates. Murder and non-negligent manslaughter recorded a 2022 estimated nationwide decrease of 6.1% compared to the previous year. In 2022, it says the estimated number of offenses in the revised rape category saw an estimated 5.4% decrease. Aggravated assault in 2022 decreased an estimated 1.1% in 2022, and robbery showed an increase, of only 1.1% nationally. So that was the FBI report. And what this article goes on to say is, says, in all the chaos of the last several years, people have mostly stopped reporting theft and even assault. It's so routine and everyone knows that the police will not and probably cannot do anything anyway. This truth is easily confirmed by asking any street-level store owner in any big city. Theft is rampant, cameras are everywhere, but there's nothing they can do about it. And so there's another problem. Here's the crux of the article. And it's based upon a statistical error in how it is presented. It says whether something is up or down, getting better or getting worse, entirely depends on the baseline that you choose as your starting date. If you choose the absolute worst peak in the trend, it says, everything else looks good by comparison. That's totally true, obviously. Says that's precisely what the FBI has done. It has chosen the worst possible year in order to make our present, it says, hellish reality seem great by comparison. It says Joshua Crawford of the Georgia Center for Opportunity explains this. Quote, part of the problem with most media analysts is that 2019 did not represent a historical baseline of homicide and violent crimes in America. 2014 did. Nationally, violent crime and murder were much more prevalent in 2019 than 2014. So though U.S. rates have fallen back to pre-pandemic levels, the country is well above normal violent crime rates. Total violent crime in 2022 was 5% higher than 2014, an increase that represents tens of thousands of additional victims in a single year. The national homicide rate in 2022 was 43% higher than in 2014. And it says since 2015, there have been roughly 30,000 more murders in the United States than there would have been if the homicide rate stayed at the 2014 low. So, and this summarizes it really well. This goes not just to crime, but in everything that we see put before us every day, which a lot of times is just propaganda and it's a lot of BS. So, the issue of the crime, I think, was a really good way to summarize why we all need to be looking at other sources than just mainstream. And this says people can only understand the most rudimentary notions, such as up or down, without asking the more important questions, which is number one, compared with what? And much less sophisticated questions such as, are we talking about an absolute fall or a drop in the rate of increase? And here it says, we experience this constantly with inflation data. For more than 2 years, we've kept hearing about a fall in the inflation rate. And people hear that and they think, oh, prices are coming back down, without even realizing that that's not what it really means. It means a falling rate at which prices are going up, but prices are still going up. And obviously here we're talking about crime rates still going up, regardless of what the FBI report tried to portray. And it says statistical ignorance is extremely costly. It allows the ruling class to toss around numbers all the time to sound vaguely science-y, but without having any real substance behind the claims. Okay, it says the crime problem is a major one because it directly affects two fundamental points of security that are essential to the good life, and that's security of property and security of the person. And look, I couldn't agree more. We talk on this channel and other channels, JB talks about it, that security is so important. And that means having the right tools, being proficient with those tools, training with those tools. It's not like riding a bike. You have to spend the time. And it's not fun time. It's not necessarily motivating to do it. But, like anything else, like getting your exercise in, from my perspective, it's something that's very, very important. So, bottom line, don't just read the headlines. Don't fall for all these traps. Again, the talking heads are out there saying one thing, and usually the statistics are saying something else. In some cases, the talking heads and the titans of industry are doing something totally different. It brings me to my next point for today's video, which is I saw an article which caught my eye several days ago on Fortune. And it says Wells Fargo's stock rose 13% after Warren Buffett praised it in 2009. Now we know he quietly sold $20 million of shares the same day. And this says the story was originally published by ProPublica, which is a nonprofit newsroom that investigates abuses of power. And it says it was the kind of endorsement that most companies dream of. Berkshire Hathaway CEO Warren Buffett, legendary investor known as the Oracle of Omaha, repeatedly sang the praises of Wells Fargo in an interview with Fortune. It says the bank, Buffett said, has come closer to an effective business model than any other big bank by some margin. He detailed the ways in which Wells Fargo was more valuable than it seemed and compared its chair to Walmart founder Sam Walton. Berkshire was already one of the Wells Fargo's largest shareholders, and Buffett was so influential that Fortune noted he had, quote, caused a 20% jump plus in Wells Fargo shares the previous month simply by expressing confidence in the bank on TV. After the Fortune interview appeared, a similar pattern ensued. Buffett's comments rippled across financial media, eagerly lapped up by the legion of investing fans who followed his every move. And by April 24th of that year, Wells Fargo shares had jumped 13%. And guess what? The article says that same day, Buffett privately sold off $20 million worth of Wells Fargo shares in his personal account. I won't go into the rest of the article, but that was back from 2009. Look, from my perspective, we're heading into a cycle that could easily be worse from not just a real estate perspective, but stock perspective and everything else worse than 2009. So the point is there's misdirection all the time. How do the little guys like you and I learn this stuff? It's very hard to, right? How would we have known that what Mr. Buffett was saying in 2009 about Wells Fargo, that maybe he didn't truly believe that narrative? It was a similar thing with Jim Cramer before, a bank collapse back, Lehman Brothers. So just my point is, we can't get suckered in to buying the mainstream narrative in anything, whether it comes to financial, whether it comes to singing the praises of the stock market. A lot of times the goal of these guys is to say how great the stock is, to pump it up. They go the next day and they dump the stock. They and their buddies go and dump the stock. I know that's a glass is half empty perspective, but the reality is it's happening. And in this next downturn, when the cheerleaders are trying to keep everything pumped up as the wheels are coming off the buggy, it seems to me that it's going to become more prevalent and more rampant again, whether it's in terms of crime statistics, trying to make you think that, hey, everything is fine, crime is down, so you let your guard down, or whether it happens in the financial markets. Keep this stuff in mind and do your own due diligence. Don't accept this stuff hook, line, and sinker. Don't look at the CBS News or the nightly news and think, hey, everything is great, we're fine. With that being said, I will try to keep the video relatively short today. I hope all of you had a really nice weekend. Sorry about the grass in the background here in my area. Every couple times a year we have to reseed the grass. We have a lot of grass here around the property, so it takes 6 or 8 weeks to come back in green. But anyway, trying to change up the background tomorrow. Unfortunately, be back in the office. Got a full day with client meetings and case files I have to work, so I'll probably be back at the old familiar Aux Studios, which people I know want changed up, but it might be all we have to work with this week. In any event, have a good rest of your Sunday, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow. I hope you got your fitness routine done today. I hope you did your 15 minutes or half an hour of walking, got your steps in, some push-ups, some sit-ups. On Sundays, I do a full body 1 hour intense workout with a group. And it's look at it. It gives me. I finish that workout. It's brutal, but I feel great. I've got clarity. I can get to some work afterwards. So I hope all of you understand the benefits of the exercise. And actually, I was talking to a friend of mine, somebody I work out with in my workout group today, Brittany. A shout out to Brittany. She said, "Look, have you heard of the cold plunge?" And she was saying how in our area the pools are getting a lot colder now. The water's getting colder, and she was talking about the benefits of using your cold water pool now as a cold plunge as a daily routine. I haven't read too much about it. I'm not giving medical advice. Everyone's got to talk to their own doctor and see if that's something that would be beneficial to them. But I have heard that it can be great for circulation. It can be great for clearing the mind. So I might start doing that. I'll probably start real slowly. I think she said she started with a minute and then worked her way up to 3 minutes. Anyway, I won't ramble on the cold plunge, but it might be something you want to work into your routine. I know a lot of high-end athletes and trainers use that as another tool as part of their physical fitness regimen. So I might give that a shot. With that being said, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.